Hey everyone, so it's been about 2-3 weeks since the Game of Thrones Season 7 finale has aired. I don't know about you, but it's the first week without Game of Thrones is kind of like, what do I do now? But I did say that I was going to do a questions and answers / talk about Season 7, so let's begin. Returning Shadow says, only lost one character. Please explain how Tormund and Beric survived this 700-foot drop of collapsing wall of ice. The entire Eastwatch was destroyed, and they would and they were still on the up-high stairs lining the wall. Well, two factors. One, I'm pretty sure Tormund and Beric were on the side of the wall that didn't collapse, like they didn't run down the stairs with all the other people. And also, I highly doubt that Tormund and Beric would get an off-screen death, even though technically wasn't off-screen, it was on-screen. It just, we didn't see them die, you know? I mean, you could say the same thing about a lot of characters on this show, like Stannis Baratheon. We didn't see him die, but you're assuming he's dead because Brienne went ching, and that was the end of that. But I feel like with Beric, especially the one, he was able to return from the dead a lot, and I feel like he does have a purpose, and I don't think dying on a big ice wall is his purpose. So I'm pretty sure they're safe. Harsh asks, Q&A, what is your favorite episode of this season? What are your favorite moments from this season? Well, my favorite episode from this season is a tie between two. It is episode 4 and episode 7. I can talk a little bit about the moments from those specific episodes. Basically, my favorite moment from episode 4 was the battle. I mean, the amount of work that was taken to probably make the battle seem realistic, and just the amount of fire that it was crazy, because I've never seen something like that. Battle of the Bastards was the best battle that will ever happen on TV ever. Nothing will ever beat it. Even as much as I love this Battle of the Bastards was just, but honestly it's pretty close second. I just loved it. I loved the battle. I loved how we ended on such a big, like, Jaime being rescued with Bronn. We didn't really know if it was Bronn being thrown into the river, and you're like, oh, what's happening? Are they gonna be okay? I figured they were gonna be okay just because they wouldn't, I feel like, I don't know, Jaime would have either died then or that was it, you know? But I love like, you ended on a part, like, yes, oh, are you kidding? You have to wait an entire week, which I love. I love, as much as I hate it, I love whenever shows end like that. And my favorite moment from episode 7, it's a tie, honestly, between Arya killing Littlefinger and Jaime finally leaving Cersei, because I think Jaime finally leaving Cersei was a big one for me, because I'm a big Jaime fan. He is in my top 5 favorite characters, but seeing him finally leave this toxic human being was fantastic, because this entire season I'm sitting here, I'm like, really? I thought after Cersei blew up the Sept, it was like, okay, this bitch is cray, we need to get out. Jaime, come on, you know, go to the north, do anything else. But he was still just devoted. I get it, he was in love with her. Not anymore, because I don't think he's, duh. But it was very frustrating to watch, but that moment when he was like, I don't believe you, that right there made up for all of the stuff that kind of made me go, oh, Jaime, stop. Littlefinger dying was also a big one for me. As much, I think Littlefinger was one of the most manipulative, conniving characters I've ever seen on screen. The way he worked people and the way he got people to do what he wanted, being so conniving and being such a snake, made me realize how much his character influenced everything. Like, whenever Sansa was like going, like saying, you basically started all of this, I realized how much Littlefinger had an input on all of the events that happened this entire show. Like, he was the one who initially basically started it all. I mean, of course there were other factors, don't get me wrong, but Littlefinger had a big hand into it, and watching that big of a player die was crazy. Lexieville asks, Q&A, what got you to watch GOT and what did you know about it beforehand? Well, I was supposed to watch it a long time ago. Not a long time ago, but last year, around February or March, I was like, oh man, I should watch GOT. A lot of people are recommending it to me, and I feel like I'd like it. I've seen some stuff online about it. I knew about the whole Jon Snow, is he alive, is he dead thing, because everyone on Twitter talked about it, but I didn't know a lot about the show in general because I wasn't like searching up Game of Thrones stuff when I had no idea what was happening. But it was in July, when I was having a friend over who also hasn't seen the show and wanted to see the show. So we binge watched season 1 in an entire day, and after she left, I continued watching by myself because obviously time constraints and can't watch everything with friends. But anyway, I watched it in about 7 days, and then my friend texted me 2 days later and she was like, I just finished Game of Thrones. I'm like, we both watched it in like such a short amount of time and we just talked about it. So that week was one of the most like fun weeks I've ever had of watching television, because I can't imagine what people who have been watching from the beginning having to wait week by week, year by year to see what happens, especially after the season 4 finale. I would have lost my goddamn mind. And the season 5 finale, like, I don't even know, because season 4 was probably my favorite finale of the entire show, whenever Tyrion killed Shay and Tywin, which, oh man, I was a mess. I wish I would have known about it, like to record it, but I didn't think that I would have, like, I didn't think that was going to happen, so I was like, oh, it's gonna just, some stuff is gonna happen. The reason why I didn't record all of my reactions is because time constraints. Honestly, I wanted to be able to watch season 7 in real time, and having to press record on my camera, look decent, and film, edit, all that stuff, it would take way too long and I wouldn't have been able to watch season 7 in real time. So that's the reason why I only picked a few episodes to react to. But yeah, that's basically how I got into it. So we already talked about favorite episodes, but right now I'm going to talk about best and worst deaths. We didn't lose a lot this year. As in major character wise, 3 major characters we lost were Olenna, Ellaria, Sand, and Littlefinger. I mean, you can count like Randall Tarly and Dickon Tarly, but at the same time, and all the Sand Snakes, but 3 major players died. Olenna, she went out like a boss. I think if she went out any other way, I'd be upset, but the fact that she went out the way she did, it was like, that moment was amazing to me. That tells Cersei it was me. And we didn't even see her die, but you didn't need to, because she was probably a boss dying too. She was like, oh, here we go. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's dive off. We also lost Ellaria, who obviously it wasn't a lot of people's favorite character. That storyline had some issues, but I wasn't hating on it like a lot of people are. But the way that she went out was insane. Just the fact that her and her daughter, like, oh, wow. There's not been a lot of times when I've been rooting for Cersei. Obviously, she's one of my most hated characters ever. But that moment when she kissed Ellaria's daughter, my jaw went to the ground. Just the whole fact that right now, in this moment in time, in Game of Thrones world, Ellaria is sitting there watching her daughter's corpse decompose, and she has to live through that. That's crazy. That's mad. And then, finally, we lost Littlefinger, which I kind of already talked about, but one of my favorite death scenes of all time, because the moment that Sansa was like, Lord Baelish, and his face was like, what? Like, it was so, you could just tell he was so taken aback, and I love that we got to see how desperate he became. Littlefinger has always been stoic and calm, and whenever he went down on his knees and was begging, his voice was cracking. I was like, oh, I need you to get awards, Aidan Gillen. I need you to be, like, get an Emmy for that, please. But that was amazing. And yeah, like, he's gonna be an addition that I'm not going to miss, but also am going to miss. This is the season of reunions. We had so many reunions slash people meeting for the first time. I could talk all day about people meeting for the first time because we just had so many characters meeting, but I do want to especially talk about the reunions because that had a big impact on how much I liked the season. First off, we have Sansa and Arya. They're like sister reuniting. Like, they haven't been together since season 1. Those characters have not been together since season 1, back in King's Landing when Ned was still alive. That was honestly really just gratifying. Not as gratifying as seeing Jon and Sansa reunite, because I think Jon and Sansa reuniting was just, it was the first Starks reuniting in who knows how long. But seeing those two reunite was really cool, even though things got weird after a little bit. Then we had Pod, Bronn, and Tyrion reuniting in the finale, and that was just really cool, seeing Pod and Tyrion reunite and seeing Bronn and Tyrion reunite. Just those three were one of my favorite friend groups, or like had the best like relationship, I think, of back in the earlier seasons. Like, they were a lot of fun to watch. I loved how sentimental they got, but also they stayed true to their characters. Two characters I thought weren't gonna meet up, but they did, were Hound and Brienne, which, oh, fantastic. Really, really, really good. Just his reaction to seeing her was like, oh, shit, you're the one who, and then Brienne was like, I thought I killed you, was really, really cool. And I love how they weren't like, there wasn't animosity between them. They were kind of like, so you're alive? Yeah, I'm alive. How's Arya? And then they talked about Arya, and I love how the Hound like smiled, like knowing that Arya is safe and is such a badass. Now I'm gonna get into my 3 favorite reunions of this season. Whatever, I don't know, there is no ranking, but Dany and Jorah reuniting was so emotional and just yes for me, because I love Dany and Jorah. Their relationship is definitely one of my favorites. Just the fact that they've been through so much together, and Dany told Jorah to go find a cure, and he found a cure through our favorite person, Sam, and he came back and he was like, I'm here if you'll have me. Like, he was so nervous, and they hugged, and it was amazing, and it's just, I loved it. And then we got Tyrion, Jaime, and Cersei. That, just those 3 characters, like, being in the same room together and having these interactions, which we haven't had since season 4. We haven't had the Lannisters meet since season 4, which is crazy. But my specialty, whatever, the best thing, I think, was Tyrion and Cersei reuniting, and just their scene in her office, if that's what you want to call it. The whole, kill me. I killed your mom, I killed dad, I killed your kids, all this stuff that Tyrion was just trying to provoke Cersei, and Cersei was physically holding herself back, and it was just, oh, the acting, brilliant. And then the moment that it's like the tension dissipates, and Tyrion goes and gets a drink, and it's like, it was awesome, and I hope we see more of Tyrion and Cersei next season. I highly doubt it, just because we're in a pretty tight spot. We only have 6 episodes left, and winter is here. The White Walkers and Whites and White Dragon is here. So I'm not holding my breath for it. And then we have my favorite reunion, which was Brienne and Jaime. This is my favorite relationship of the show, I think. Ever since season 3, I think 3, maybe at the end of 2, just Jaime and Brienne have been the 2 people that oh, I love them together so very much. The relationship from the start was rocky, obviously, and then they went through hell together. And Jamie told Brienne about his whole Kingslayer story. Jamie lost his hand. Brienne was about to get raped. Jamie saved her. He also saved her from a freaking bear. And just every single time they've been reunited since their journey, you could just see the love that they have for each other in their eyes. Like, Jamie has never looked at another person like that, the way he looks at Brienne. Now I'm gonna get into a little bit of some death predictions for next season. Now, these are tricky because I could literally see the entire cast dying, every single character dying next year, but I'm gonna pick out specific people and how I think they're going to die, or who I am thinking guaranteed are going to die. People like Tyrion, Jon, Dany, those are up in the air. They could die, they couldn't die. It's up in the air for me. Same with Jamie, Brienne, Arya, Sansa. All those people are up in the air. But there are specific people who I think are genuinely going to die, and I'm going to talk about that. First prediction of death is Cersei. If Cersei ends up living at the end of the show, no. I have had this prediction for a while, but I think Jamie will kill Cersei. He is a part of her prophecy given by Maggie back in season 5, I'm pretty sure it was, that the Valancourt is going to wrap his hands around your neck and kill you. So I'm pretty sure that's Jamie, because I think it would be poetic justice. I think it would be amazing. As much as I would love Tyrion to kill Cersei, but Jamie would be very gratifying, and I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. I think that Theon will kill Euron. I think that's what's going to finally officially push him over the edge of the whole Reek situation. Not a situation, but just that, everything that he's been through. Right now, I do believe that with his talk with Jon in the finale really made me think, like, oh, Theon's back. Like, his whole fighting with the other Iron Island people, and just, I'm so interested to see what happens to him. I think that he will either go out sacrificing himself for Yara, or maybe he'll live and Yara will die. I don't know, but I do think Theon will kill Euron. Another death prediction is Melisandre being killed by Arya, because Melisandre back in episode 3 or 2 of this season was like, I'm leaving Westeros until I come back to die. You know, she was kind of like, it's my time, so I'm pretty sure Melisandre's gonna die next season by Arya. The only reason why I'm saying that is because Arya and Melisandre met and back in season whatever, and she was like, you have evil in your eyes, we're gonna meet again, and I'm probably gonna die by you. And also Melisandre is on Arya's list, and I think that everyone on Arya's list is going to end up dead. That's another prediction I have, is that everyone on Arya's list will end up dead. So I'm not sure of the list right now. I think it's Cersei, the Mountain obviously by the Hound, Beric, I'm pretty sure who's on that list, Thoros, but he's dead. If I'm missing anybody, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that that's what's going to end up happening, that everyone on Arya's list is going to die. And finally, one more prediction who I think is going to die, even though everyone else is really up in the air, Varys. The only reason why I'm saying that this year is because we had that whole conversation with Melisandre in the finale. Melisandre was like, I'm gonna die in Westeros, as are you. You know, like, to Varys, and I'm like, oh, yeah, he's gonna die. He's gonna die. It's gonna suck because Varys is one of my favorites. Everyone's one of my favorites. It's such an issue. It's such an issue that you like so many people on this show. I just knocked on wood because... But those were my thoughts and feelings on season 7. If, again, you have any questions or if you want to explain your thoughts on the season, put them in the comments below and I will try to respond to as many as I can. Okay everyone, thank you for watching, and if you want to see my previous reaction, all you do is click the link in the description. And as always, I will see you next time, which will probably not be for a while because I have no idea when season 8 is going to come out. My hope, I don't know if it's going to happen, my hope that it'll be next year during winter time. You know, like it could be like, you know, winter time 2018 going into 2019. That'd be nice, or earlier, but still, like that's that's my hope. I'm really hoping, but yeah, waiting for this is gonna be hell.